Well, says you're notifying viewers that I'm live. It's Monday morning. Hello, Kayla. Hello, Bernie Mac. Hello, Lex Unicorn. Hello, Marcus White and User. And AK Boy. And Gretchen Harris. And Jay Quest. And Zacharias. And Ken Buck. And Jerry Scott. And Ann McLaughlin. Oh. A quick tour of where I'm at. Explain where I'm at in a little bit. I'm in the party room. I stayed at a buddy's last night in Naperville who has a small medical procedure that he needs taken care of early this morning. So I stayed over at his house to make it a little easier, and I'm going to drive him over to the doctor's office so he can complete his procedure. And in the meantime, I'm going to enjoy the luxury of his guest room, or not his guest room, his community room. And he lives in an apartment building in downtown Naperville. And a lot of these buildings, for those, I was a realtor for 17 years. And I've moved a lot. I've lived in my share of apartments and homes, and a lot of little apartment communities, apartment buildings will provide a kind of a community room like this, which honestly, when the leasing agent is showing the apartment, they might have swimming pools or barbecue areas or sun decks or things like that all the guests can share and gather in and have little parties in. And again, where I'm at today, I'll give you a quick tour. Offers a real nice kitchen, cool area to sit, some shuffleboard, nice big screen TV, and some beautiful pictures of downtown Naperville. And it's a way that they can provide amenities for, a whole building, but just have to do it once. And I know as a leasing agent, again, I've looked at a lot of apartments in my life, in a lot of different buildings, and a lot of different Culture Club rocks. Culture Club does rock. I'll tell you what, Boy George, I'm surprised Boy George isn't talked about more at this time. I am surprised Boy George isn't talked about more at this time. I mean, I think it is. I work at Super Target, for most of you that know. And Super Target, or Target, is a very progressive company that openly celebrates National Pride Month more than probably most companies do. And I'm not trying to get into a political argument at all, but it's a very progressive company, or at least looking for the progressive dollar, if you will. And I think it's Pride Month. And I tell you, for a kid that grew up in the 80s, I'm surprised Boy George isn't talked about more, because that guy took a stand. And I would be curious what the LGBTQ community feels about Boy George, but I would think he'd be like the George Washington of that community, just because he went out and did who he was, and dressed the way he wanted, and spoke the way he spoke, and sang songs the way he sung before it was really safe to do it. I would imagine he was a pioneer in the LGBTQ world. And I'm not, saying anything about it either way, but I just remember as a kid in the 80s, us going, what the heck is going on? Who's this guy? And again, this was before it was cool to be different. And this guy was very, different from a very, traditional world back then. I'm going to try and slide this table a little closer. My gosh, it must be a heavy piece of furniture. Must be a heavy piece of furniture. You don't know who Boy George is. That's interesting. And I guess you wouldn't. You wouldn't. I was talking to a guy, again, I work at Super Target. I was talking to a friend of mine. He didn't know who U2 was. And U2 was probably the biggest band of my youth. And I would say just a step or two below the real huge bands like the Rolling Stones and the Who. Uh, but it's amazing when you're talking to somebody that's in their 20s and you're bringing up music that you still think is relevant, but it might have been from 30 or 40 years ago. Uh, yeah, maybe some kids know you too, but not all kids. The buddy I was talking to did not. He didn't know an amazing amount of groups and singers that I would think would be common knowledge. But anyway, good morning, good morning, good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. This is a little show I started doing. Oh, by the way, it is Monday morning. It is 5:43, I think, my time. And I think it is June, could be a June 11th, could be June 12th. Bear with me. Give me some flexibility to not know the date. It's so silly, and again, I've talked about it before. My watch has a date function, but with every month having a different number of dates, it's really hard to keep it programmed correctly and to keep track of, you know, February comes around and the month is off by 3 days. How interesting, Joe. But anyway, again, and happy Monday. This is Coffee with Ken. This is a show I've done a long, long time. It's a show I've done for about 4 years. I think it was end of June 2019 when it started. It was a show that I started when I was in a dark apartment and missing the girl of my dreams, and felt sad and blue and hurting and struggling and feeling bad and feeling down. And I always realized talking about my stuff made me feel a little bit better. For some reason, I started doing it live on Facebook, and people started watching. And the more I talked, the more I realized I felt better. And the more I talked, the more I realized that that all of us had issues, and all of us had struggles, and all of us had challenges we dealt with. It doesn't matter if it's the guy driving in the back of the limousine, or the guy that's homeless on the street corner, or the CEO of this major company, or the guy flipping burgers. We all face challenges, and we all face struggles, and we all have internal demons we fight with. And for some reason, talking about my own made me feel a little bit better. And I think it connects with people, because I think a lot of people look at social media as a place to, I don't know, take a picture of you on a beautiful beach with your wife and drinking a margarita and pretending this is your life, or that life is but that's just one tiny little moment in time. And the rest of the time we wake up in the middle of the night and we're stressed about work, or we're worried about our family, or who knows, our car or bills, or whatever issues you might be dealing with. Because again, we all have issues. But anyway, this isn't just a show about me talking. For those that have been watching a while, it's kind of funny. I woke up just a little bit ago. I woke up and I stayed at a buddy's house last night, and I'm going, I wonder where he keeps his coffee. And I couldn't, I looked around his kitchen, but I go, wait, he has this community room. It's early, nobody will be in here. I hope they have Keurig coffee, and they do. They do. I'm so excited. I don't even know what Totally Kind it is, but I'll tell you in a minute. But for those that have been watching a while, it's a show about me sharing my love of coffee. And with that in mind, I got a nice hot cup of coffee. Average Axton, it is time for you to grab some coffee. It's past time. I hope wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you got a hot cup of coffee, because I got a hot cup of coffee in front of me, and I'm so excited to take my first sip on this Monday morning. Cheers to us. I believe, and again, it's not my coffee, it's the coffee that's being provided by this very kind apartment building. And I believe it's the Green Mountain Caramel Vanilla. And let me tell you, it's delicious. Let me have another sip. Oh, man, it's really hot. Even this cup. isn't as insulated as most of the cups I'm used to. It's almost hot to the touch. I think they probably have one of those little Huggies over there. I wonder if they have cream over there. Let's go see. I said when I'm on the road, I tend to put cream in my coffee, and it's true. At home, for 3 different reasons, I drink my... Oh, they do. I'm going to do it. They do. I'm going to do it. Come with me. Come with me. Oh, yes, they do. Coffee Mate, the original. It's a classic. And yes, it was the caramel vanilla cream by Green Mountain. I'm going to pop a couple creams in this bad boy because, again, I can, and I'm on the road, and at home I don't do this because at home I drink so much darn coffee, throwing a couple creams in each cup probably wouldn't be very good for me. Plus, sometimes I'd forget and I'd be out of cream and I'd be in a panic and I'd go, oh no, what am I going to do? I can't drink my coffee without cream because that's what I was used to. And I realized I can do it without cream. Saves me calories. Saves me probably a couple bucks a week. And it saves me that tremendous frustration when you're out of cream at home and you don't know what to do because you're not used to drinking your coffee black. My solution was I got used to drinking my coffee black. Roll Tide, that's right. So anyway, let me try it with a little cream. Oh. It does. It's smoother for sure. I don't think the tastes of the coffee jump at you quite as much, but it's certainly an easier sip, a certainly easier drink. It's funny, it's Monday morning. For those that know, I was a realtor for 17 years. I started working at a local super Target, I don't know, 4.5 months ago. I took it because I needed some purpose, needed some cash flow, needed some direction. I'm 54 years old. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life when I grew up. And I'll tell you, at 54, it's hard reinventing yourself. And when I was a realtor every year, I'd re-sign my real estate dues and figure this is what I'm going to do till the day I drop. And I always figured I'd always stay a realtor. But I don't think I ever had the passion for the business that one needs. I didn't really like it. I was never proud telling people I was a realtor. I always felt a little bit of shame, honestly. Felt like they put up a barrier as soon as I told them I was a real estate agent and were worried I was going to sell them something. And part of me thought, hey, I need to sell these sick people up. If they're looking to buy or sell a home, I better get their contact information. And honestly, for me, it kind of felt like a sleazy existence and a sleazy way of life. I'm not saying whatever. I'm not trying to make any judgments. But for me, it just didn't feel a good fit. I always thought, well, I'm smart, I'm outgoing, I'm friendly, people generally like me, I should be a great realtor. And I did fairly okay, better than most, but not as good as some. And some months were great and some months were more challenging. And every day it was the number one job was to get in front of the customer and show homes or meet with clients to sell their homes. And did you, Patricia? And that was a constant struggle, you know, and you go to training classes for real estate and they say if you're struggling being in front of a client, prospect more or prospect more, you know, do more lead gen. And I guess that's a salesperson's ultimate job is to find customers. But I would say in the real estate business, there is no other business where it's harder to be in front of the customer and more time isn't spent generating leads. And I think probably at the very top level, we had a woman in our office that did huge radio spots in the Chicagoland area. And I think we spent like $60,000 a month in radio ads. And it was probably worthwhile for her business. She was going on listing appointments every day. But again, she was spending a lot of money to be in front of that customer. And it just wasn't in my budget or in my passion. And again, left and really didn't realize, can't tell you how good it feels to not tell anyone I'm a realtor anymore. Didn't like that feeling, and it's weird. I was so excited about it when I started out. I was so excited. I was so proud. First day I got my business card. I put them on every desk in my office just so they know, hey, there's a mover and a shaker, and go to my neighborhood, put them on every door. Uh, had my picture, my square picture, cheesy smile. It wasn't even a good picture. I didn't like that very first picture I took. It's a dorky smile. Yeah, I bet the mortgage lender is. A lot of people say, and again, I have a degree in finance from the University of Illinois, and a lot of people say, hey, why don't you put that finance to work, degree work and become a mortgage broker? And I go, I think it's kind of the same thing. Honestly, I think it's probably a little easier. There's no show like HGTV where people just instinctively want to become realtors, and so I don't think there's near the competition in the mortgage business as in the real estate business. There's no way there can be. But there is a lot of competition, and I do know you're always looking for your next person to loan money to. The nice thing about the mortgage business is when interest rates are going down, you're everybody's friend and everybody wants to refi. And even at the closing table when they're buying homes, you're the candy man. You're lending out money. They look at you as the guy that helped them buy the house. They look at the realtor as the guy that's generating a huge commission for very little work. And that's right. Yeah, it's weird. I did a ton of work, but it wasn't always for that individual that was buying or selling a home. The work I did was trying to find the customer. And the work I did was trying to be in front of the customer. It was knocking on doors. It was cold calling. It was going to, chamber meetings and all that stuff. And it was just tiring. It was, Tor said at 20, no one took her or him, I can't see, seriously, despite her knowledge and efforts. Yeah. No, when I was new in the business, I go, hey, I got a finance degree. Hey, I used to make a ton of money. Hey, I got nice suits. Hey, I'm really smart. Hey, I'm going to try hard. Hey, I'll charge you less commission. And they didn't care. They used the person that sent them postcards in the mail every day or the sign they saw. And that always hurts. Plus, it's tough. You drive around town, you see various agents' signs up, and any home that's not your sign, you're wondering why you didn't get that listing. And I don't know. There's no more business career that people find more interesting than a real estate agent. I tell people I left the business, and everyone goes, oh, why'd you leave real estate? You could tell them you left your career as a pharmaceutical sales rep, and they wouldn't bat an eye. But could you ask me a question about a situation you're having with a tenant? I wouldn't know. I'd call your... you probably have a real estate attorney. I'd call your real estate attorney and ask the best path to go with that, Dr. Pepper Lover. Dr. Pepper Lover. Dr. Pepper is a fine drink. It's a good drink. But what was I saying? But anyway, I was a realtor for 17 years, and I left it at the beginning of the year. Started working at a super Target and applied there, went through it's funny, you get hired at Target without actually meeting an individual. They hire you through your online app, and you send in videos to apply. They ask you kind of random questions, and you send a video, go, hi, my name's Ken. If coffee spilled in my aisle, I would do this or something, hypothetically. And then they hire you, and you're working. And it just seems so funny to be hired without meeting any human beings. But anyway, I guess I'm old school that way. But I started working there about 4.5 months ago. I think I thought at the beginning it was going to be a part-time gig because I know it's not full-time money, but I also needed money. So I thought, hey, if they're going to schedule me full-time, let's take all the hours I can get. But it started kind of consuming my life as a job does, especially when you're working 40 hours a week, especially when it's physically demanding. And I didn't find I had time to pursue other career ventures or passions or even spend time with my kids like I'd like. And again, it was only a part-time plan for an immediate situation. Well, and I think things happen for a reason. My body was breaking down. I was getting tired. I was getting frustrated because, I'd be going to work every day and, be frustrated with the experience that sometimes work does to you. And it wasn't intended as a full-time thing, and I was getting frustrated, and Target started cutting back their hours. I don't know if it's the slow season or what's going on in the world, if there's just less activity at the store. I worked on Saturday, and it was pretty darn slow for a Saturday. I've worked every Saturday since February, and this was by far the slowest Saturday. It could be the season. Good morning, Keith. It could be could be summer. Kids could be going off to vacation, and maybe parents aren't shopping as much at grocery stores. But it was shockingly quiet for a Saturday. There were customers there, but there were no lines at the registers. Usually, I can't walk 2 feet on a Saturday without somebody asking me, "Hey, where's the toothpaste?" Or "Hey, where's the mayonnaise?" Or "Hey, where do I find the juice?" I go, "I don't know. They don't let me out of the cereal aisle. I don't even know where the cereal is, but I can help you find it." And then I have a little pocket computer on me, which I prefer not to use, because anytime you break out technology in front of somebody, I don't know, you have an issue, you can't connect to the internet, or I don't know, you got to reboot the app, and the person's sitting there staring at you, and it's stressful / frustrating. So I have shopped at the store for years and know things more where they are located as a shopper more than as an employee. And I'll usually help them find what they're looking for, even if it's not in my area at all, just by store knowledge and by experience as a shopper. So anyway, it's Monday morning, and I'm not working today. And it's interesting, I'm only going to be working 3 days a week as opposed to 5. And I think that's going to be perfect for what I need. It's going to pay the basic bills, but still give me enough time to move forward in other areas of my life. And I'm looking forward to that. And I can't tell you how good it felt to wake up this morning and not feel rushed and lay in bed for a while and kind of go, maybe I'll get up. I wonder if my buddy's community room has some coffee. No, it's not. Who are you? Let me see who you are, Willow. No, yeah, you're somebody like that. You're somebody just whatever. Sorry, I didn't do something with that. But anyway, feels great to be up on a Monday morning. I already posted a video I did last Monday about how Mondays are great days. They feel like new beginnings and new starts to the week. It's kind of like a New Year's Day feeling every week, where a chance to commit, and every day is a new beginning. Every day is a chance to commit to yourself, to start the habits that you want to start, or remove the habits you want to remove from your life. But it seems like a Monday is a good excuse. And again, our lives and ourselves and who we are as human beings you shouldn't need an excuse to improve yourself. But a lot of times we do search for motivation, and so many people do it on New Year's Day. Again, you can do it any day of the week, but Mondays are great days for new beginnings. And I just posted a video a little bit ago about that, and I really mean it. It feels like a fresh start. You kind of wash off the weekend and wash off whatever you did or didn't do last week, and you can get to it and sink your teeth into it. With that in mind, I spent some time at Starbucks yesterday. Surprise, surprise. And I met a woman there early in the morning who apparently I'd met before. Her name was Tracy. She spelled it wrong. But anyway, real inspirational, positive woman. Had a great talk with her. And we got to talking about coffee with Ken, as I so often do. And she had a lot of great ideas for me. And some of her ideas I kind of cringed at and go, well, I don't like to do that. I just like to create the content and create these videos. Good morning, Captain Kenny. All is well. Thank you for tuning in. But I was telling this woman, I don't like to do all that. And she goes, well, at the beginning, you're going to have to figure out a way to do it and get through it until you get big enough where you can hire some people to do that stuff for you. And it turned out she was right. And later in the day, I spent some time, honestly, on YouTube, doing a little research in video production and monetizing the videos and how some other people have done it. And it got me excited and kind of me invigorated and me thinking about ways that I can improve this platform and honestly grow my audience and see where I can take it and see what I can do with it. Because I enjoy doing it every morning. I skipped yesterday. I kind of felt like there was a hole in my day. But I skipped yesterday morning, and maybe once a week I'll miss a day. But it always feels a little weird when I do, and like something's missing, and part of my routine's missing. And I don't like to mess with my routine too much. So let's get back to the coffee. Again, I'm staying at a buddy's place today, and I'm in the community room, and I don't have cable or Wi-Fi at home. And I kind of look at cable as a guilty pleasure right now. I talked about it before. I'm slightly right of center. I spent too much time in my life watching various news channels. It started at CNN, then went to Fox, and realized it just got my blood pressure boiling either side of the aisle I was watching. And I must admit, last night, I thought about coming down here and watching a little Fox News to see if I could get my emotions all riled up and get angry about something. I didn't. I fell asleep instead. And I tell you what, that felt so good to fall asleep after a long day. And it was a cold, wet day here in Naperville. I think it's like 45 degrees out right now. And it was kind of rainy and windy and cold and blustery. My church had a church event, Summer Bash or something they called it, that was going to be a kind of barbecue / dunk tank / fun thing to do with the family, that they just postponed it for a few weeks because the weather was just kind of so not Summer Bash-like. And I think that was a good call, but that's got to be tough to do. I think even it's easy to go to somebody's party, have a good time, and then leave. But you don't see the work that goes behind it, the hot dogs needing ordered, the buns needing ordered, the dunk tank being ordered and what have you. And it's probably hard to postpone an event that you planned for several months due to weather. But they did, and I think it was probably a good call because it wouldn't have been a ton of fun. At a cold, wet day, hanging out by the grill when the wind's blowing and nasty, and it's supposed to be called a Summer Bash. Where's the Mickey's D? Hey, Mickey D's coffee is very rare for me. I've been going, there's a McDonald's right out in front of my Super Target, and occasionally I'll stop there, go through either the drive up and get some, if I have a little more time, I'll stop in and get some coffee, and I've done a couple of my videos from that McDonald's. And but it's very rare. I'd like to eat a little healthier. I've been eating too much I don't know, crappy food lately, and not doing enough good exercise. I think it's easy for me as a guy that's standing on his feet and walking all day at my job to think that I'm getting exercise in, and maybe I am, because my body hurts every day. But if you know what I'm feeling, it's not a good hurt. It's not the good hurt like after you lift weights and your arms sore, or your back sore, your shoulders sore, your legs sore. It's kind of a bad hurt. Everything just kind of hurts. So I rationalize and go, hey, I probably got a good workout today. And I don't know if I did or didn't, but my joints sure hurt and I feel beat up. So I'd like to phase that part of my working life out, to be honest with you, and explore different career venues, and that's kind of what I'm doing. Midwest Mama, I think Jerry asked, what's that picture behind me? It's interesting you say that. That is a picture of near downtown Naperville, just a pretty bridge crossing the DuPage River. I'm in a buddy's apartment's community room. He's having a medical procedure done in a little bit, and I'm going to drive him this morning to the doctor's office and drive him home. So I stayed at a buddy's place last night, and again, I'm in his community room in Naperville, and there's some beautiful pictures up of my beautiful town. Sometimes I'll show you these images on my live video. I've done this. I was out front of this a couple times in the last few weeks. It's Hotel Indigo, and it's across the DuPage River. I was sitting right here during one of my videos, and these beautiful reflections were coming down from this building on the river, which was calm at the time, and it was just beautiful. It was just a simple. Sometimes some of the most simple pictures are beautiful, you know. Just this picture of the front of a metro train, and it's simple and beautiful. Here's the tower in Naperville. Again, just simple, quiet pictures, and beautiful, and so appropriate for this apartment building here in downtown Naperville. Yeah, my town is beautiful. It is really beautiful, and again, Naperville wins a lot of awards. Best place to raise a family. It's kind of considered one of the, I don't know. I mean, I'm from Naperville, so maybe I'm getting the Naperville's spin on how great Naperville is. But I do think it does win a lot of awards. Does win a lot of awards for one of the best places to have kids or raise a family or grow up or what have you. The Caroline, yeah. Hey, we got somebody from Naperville, or at least knows Naperville pretty well. I was drawing a blank. I've gone to the tower. It's the Caroline. I think it's under construction right now, and I've never been to the top. It makes beautiful bell tower sounds and ringing sounds, but I think it's under construction. I think there was something, problems with it, and it's been under construction for a while. But such a pretty place along the Riverwalk on the far side of the river, and you can stroll up and down and just see people walking their dogs or pushing strollers or playing frisbee in the park, and it's really such an idyllic setting. How's the weather here? Well, it was 47 degrees when I woke up this morning. It was rainy, windy, and cold yesterday. I don't know what the weather's supposed to be like today, but it's starting on the cool side. I assume it's going to warm up a little bit, and it's going to be a coolish day in early summer. I texted both my daughters yesterday and asked them if they were at the swimming pool. They live with their first mom in Oswego, which is about 10 miles from where I live, and my second daughter said, "No, it's too cold." And I go, "Really? That's so weird. It's 85 degrees here in Naperville." And she didn't respond for a minute. Because it was going, probably knowing her, I was thinking, could it be? Dad doesn't really lie too much. Could it really be 85 degrees when it's 55 here 10 miles away? So I quickly sent her, "Just kidding." And she thought that was pretty funny. Or at least she said, "Ha ha." I tell you what, when you're a divorced dad of two beautiful teenage girls, you take every ha and ha they give you, because you don't get them all the time. Somebody asked if I work. I do work. I'm not working today. I was a realtor for 17 years, and I've been working in a retail store for the last 4 or 5 months while I figure out what I want to do when I grow up. So in the meantime, I go live every morning. I enjoy going live. I share some coffee with the viewer and enjoy the stuffing out of that. Just started getting monetized or paid by these social media platforms, and it's so funny how little you get paid at the beginning. But I think, again, the hardest dollar you make is the first dollar you make, and the toughest million is the first million. So, and halfway through my second month, I made about $50. And, it's a start, and it's a building point. And I think if I put a little more effort into researching how to do things, again, I think it's easy, and I hate to call myself an artist. It sounds so pompous. But whether you're painting pictures or doing videos or producing music, it's probably awesome for the artist to sit in a studio and paint pictures, or for the band to sit and rock out in their garage. But at some point, you got to bring that to the audience, and you don't have to. You can just do it for the love of doing this, or love of painting pictures, or love of your music, or what have you. But if you want to make it a full-time thing, you probably got to do whatever you got to do to sell your paintings, or get your music discovered, or me to monetize the content I create here online. And sometimes that's not the fun stuff. And for most people, this isn't the fun stuff. This would be work. But when I get started in the morning, uh, I'm walking through my day or morning going like this. Haven't showered yet. Haven't fully woken up. I'm at my coffee maker and feeling groggy like we all do. And uh, I don't know, Jerry. But I'm feeling groggy like we all do. And as soon as I push that live button, I feel funny, I feel silly, and I see the 3, 2, 1, and I laugh because I'm staring at a phone and it's staring back at me, and then somebody gets on, and then another person gets on, and then there's 20 people watching, sometimes there's 50 people watching or whatever. And I'm going, crap. I haven't even had my coffee yet. I'm still sleepy. I'm still groggy. I don't know. What do I say? What am I going to do? And then one word leads to another. And half an hour goes by. And I don't know. I smile. I drink some coffee. I get my caffeine on. I share some laughs, share some stories, share some experiences, and feel good and feel ready for my day. Like I said, one word leads to another, and a big thing. There's a lot of times in my life over the last 6 months I've woken up and gone, crap, what the hell am I going to do? Crap. I just got divorced. Crap. I got to get a job. Crap. This stressor, that stressor, what do you do? And I think the thing you do is you take that next step. And that next step can be so small. I think too often people think maybe too big and go, okay, well, I'm going to go get a job. And going to get a job is really a series of 1,000 different small steps. And your first step could be, okay, I'm going to brush my teeth. Okay, I'm going to take a shower. Okay, I'm going to get dressed. Okay, I'm going to get in my car and head out to the library and get online and do research for certain careers or get on Indeed or, various steps. There's so many steps involved in a lot of the things we do. And I think the key for me over the last 6 months or when things are tough is breaking it down to the smallest next step. And sometimes that next step could be sitting up in bed and then going to the bathroom and then brushing your teeth and then eating a bowl of cereal. And then, as your day goes on, and pretty soon your day's going to be over, and hopefully you're going to have accomplished a lot. And hopefully you're going to be grateful for what you accomplished and feel good with what you've done. And even if you didn't get everything done on your list, I think it's important to feel some pride and some gratitude and some thanks for the blessings that we have, because we are all blessed in some way or other. And if you think life's got you down, take a moment and think of something to be grateful for, because that usually turns it around for me. So I'm going to have one more sip of coffee. Oh, I'm going to feed my guilty pleasure. See if I can find CNBC. Good morning, RJ, on this cable, and see what's going on in the world of high finance that I used to wallow in on a daily basis. And again, I've talked about it before. It is so funny how when you remove yourself from a daily worker in the stock market, I was a stockbroker for 10 years. I'd love to see, RJ, let me know how you think the sun rises and sets with the stock market. But once you get out of the business and you stop watching CNBC, the fact that the market's up or down 100 points really doesn't mean anything to you or to the world, or the world doesn't care. But as a stockbroker, you think it's all that matters. And you get so absorbed in the fluctuations, random fluctuations by a stock you're following. And you put so much of your value. I know if I had a big position in a stock for clients, I put so much of my worth and so much of my value and so much of how I looked at myself on day-to-day fluctuations that I couldn't control of a random stock and the shares of a stock. And it just seems so silly looking back on it. But I think that's probably the way it goes for a lot of people in the business. And that's probably why it's a stressful business, and why I've lost my hair in the 20s. Because I was staring at my stocks, and every trade I'd go, hey, it's going up. Hey, it's going down. Hey, it's going up. I'd spend my day either prospecting for new business or going, hey, my stock's going up. Hey, my stock's going down.
And I'll tell you what, that was no fun. It paid well. It paid stupidly well at various times. But again, it was a soulless job, and a job that I don't think I was contributing to the world in any positive way or making the world a better place. And I kind of felt that way in real estate. And although I'm working at Target now, and it's an entry level job, kind of a minimum wage type job, I still feel I'm making the world a little bit better of a place because I make people laugh and smile that come through my aisle every day. But I'd like to bring that laugh, and that's the ability I have to make people smile or feel good or feel encouraged or feel loved or feel important to a broader audience than the aisle in the cereal aisle at my super Target. And that's kind of why I'm doing this, because I want you guys to know that are watching that you do matter. You are cared for. You're not alone. And if you ever feel alone, even if you're not a spiritual, religious person, say a little prayer and say, God, help me, or universe, help me, or I feel alone, or I'm struggling. And maybe it'll be God, maybe it'll be your inner voice will talk back to you and say, hey, Ken, I'm here for you. And he's here for you as well. So she's here for you as well. It is National Pride Month after all. Anyway, I'm going to drink my coffee. I'm going to see if I can find CNBC on my the cable in my buddy's community room. I'm going to drink some more coffee because it looks like there's about 8 Keurig cups over there. I want them to have to restock their shelves because they're running low. They need somebody coming in and putting the Keurig cups back in. And I have a whole lot of caramel vanilla by, I think, Mountain Green to drink this morning before my buddy gets up and we take him to the doctors. So I so appreciate you for watching. So appreciate you for following along in my story, for all the kind words, for all the love and support you give me. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. I hope you had a great night's sleep. Hope you're excited about the day in front of you. And if you're not excited or you're feeling stressed or you don't know what to do or you feel the world's beating you up, just do that next thing. Get up and brush your teeth. Go make yourself some coffee. Have that bowl of cereal. Put one foot in front of the other. Pretty soon I think you'll be making great strides and accomplishing great things because I believe in you and I know you can do it. So cheers to us. Have a wonderful day. I hope you're feeling good, loving yourself, forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.